So, Witcher, you're good to go. Oh, are they going now? No. So yeah, if we can find Popedarpa and Witcher, you are good to start whenever, and we'll hop into this best of 3 losers finals. Winner goes up against Terrarius. And I believe Popedarpa is our Extilior player that has made it all the way to this stage of the tournament. In a tournament filled with Zax players today. 2/3 came into Zax list. Which, you know, makes sense. Zax relatively understood as the bit of a counter to Extilior. But we've seen a lot of good play with it. Alrighty. And here we go.
Just look like you're thinking.
That is wise.
Alrighty. So what you often see, and we've seen this with Popedarpa, folks, is with Extilior Zax matchup, you want to walk forward and get into the Zax, and you want to try and find that right angle to get into them. Both teams having Plink is going to really amp the pressure up on how much to kind of accelerate the game a bit. And I think this disruptor beam from Witcher is really smart because they know that this Extilior wants to get in, wants to find ways to get in. So a disruptor just gonna give you that extra bit of get out of my face. Using the pot shots from Maximus, get out. But that Beatrice really smart coming in from Witcher because it effectively blocks that northern path towards him. And now we see Popedarpa is gonna have a decision because Popedarpa is gonna go up or down or in the middle. And Witcher can respond. So now we see Popedarpa's gone up. Witcher can say, okay, I'm going to go around this hard cover, or I'm going to go down below here. Depending on whatever he wants to do here. So Popedarpa opted in, I'm just going to keep walking at you. We don't know what the ship assist or the other tools available. Maybe the Quetzalli is in there. Though I don't think Extilior can really move past that Beatrice through that choke with the little chip off the elbow of the statue there. An Amplifier Beetle drop could be pretty strong here. Oh, this Displacer Beam's gonna be really good. Get the Extilior to take free 2 damage. 2 damage on the WinCon.
Let's make friends.
Oh, man. Where'd that fish come from? I thought this game didn't have any fish. What's going on here?
Yeah, it's from Subnautica, obviously.
So now, interesting decision from Popedarpa. We talked about how Witcher is using this cover to just kind of seesaw the Extilior between him. Popedarpa just going for the route of hard committing in one direction so we can get this deploy of a Chuck and Co. Incredibly tanky unit with that armor and 8 health. He's going to try and beat up on the Zax. Now,
I think he might just throw... He's just going to throw Beatrice out of the way, hopefully.
True, that ranged Chuck in the next turn.
Yeah.
And this is one of those things, we'll see a lot of Extiliors do this, where you're just going, you want to be in the Zax's face, obviously, and that's going to force Zax to have to burn Cinder for a Grav Disc. You want to make him burn Cinder on the Grav Disc to get to safety, than to drop these key pieces for their composition. Granted, Amplifier Beetle kind of outplays the need to grab Disc Maximus out of their face here, because that should kill. Maximus has 4 health plus the shield, so with the damage here, 3 coming from both Zax and Shrapnel, that's going to kill the Maximus and free up Witcher here. But can he do this without hurting himself? Yeah, just walk up right there.
He's going to hit both. He's going to hit himself.
Witcher trying to figure out the best angle. and does get the one, does find the angle there.
Oh, there you go.
Gets
okay.
himself out. Does not have enough for the.
What is this armor?
Now this is an interesting decision here, because unless the Chuck and Co is boxed in, Chuck and Co can wrap around. Yup, Chuck and Co is gonna yuck Mr. Zax all the way over to Extiliar range, gonna get the angle, move him away from the support of the amplifier and the shrapnel, and now you have Zax via Extiliar 1v1, which is something you desperately do not want to have happen. And the stim burst just makes this even more likely.
Oh, look at this, even better.
Yeah. So
Zax.
Yep. And then yuck him. Does hardcover block the Chuck? I forget.
No, it doesn't. You can throw over units.
Yep, there it is.
That's
what a
beautiful.
good play. So
That's
you need
nice.
to take. It does have enough Cinder for the spin to win as well, and could shield someone as well on top of it. Popedarpa taking every bit of damage from this play as possible, making the next time he gets close lethal. And in Extiliar, and you can see why in Extiliar v Zax, or even Extiliar in general, you want Vortex, you want Disruptor, but do not, Stim Burst has its place. It's not as good as the other two for Extiliar, because you're kind of help moving them around and pushing other pieces around, but the Stim Burst can be useful because you just need a way to get in close. And because Extiliar and Zax both have to play by the rules of hard cover and light cover, can't jump over them, they both have to have the same movement. Extiliar has a much easier time of staying in the Zax face. Oh, doesn't get the pushback. Didn't check to see if they got it before the shot. So now, if Extiliar can get close to this Zax, that is going to be a dead Zax Jakar. That's a great disruptor. Chuck and Co can't make the play happen this time so easily. But Witcher having to use Cinder on some things they might not have wanted when they could have. Well, I think they had to reinforce. Good mine prevents this game from ending on this turn, unless Popedarpa has the Quetzali. We know it's in the deck. All right. Wait. Oh no. Okay, I thought the mine might have been in Chuck Rage. That'd have been crazy.
No, I lowered that. That was a bug before.
Oh, it wasn't meant to be that big? I remember it being huge
that was
in the
a bug.
play test.
Yeah.
Alright, there's the Plink. So it's going to be a Plink trade. So just taking the pot shots at the amplifier.
My path is clear.
Going to get close. What do they drop? That does not look like a jailbreak.
No,
Is that a
it's not
jailbreak
touching
base
me.
size? No. Gonna put him on the side there. I wonder.
Still might be a jailbreak, actually. It's looking jailbreaky.
There it is. Couldn't quite get close, but still using the airborne, have that pressure from the side. They want this kill so desperately.
Yeah.
They need to get the kill here.
He's gonna get it. He can always throw Zax into jailbreak as well.
Mm-hmm. And we have Stim Burst as well.
Yeah.
Oh, and the
Did Witcher forget
geometry
to
of the
attack? Witcher forgot to attack Beatrice last round. I think.
I don't think she was in. I don't know if she was in range.
She was, because Zax moved
really?
toward. Extiliar moved towards the mine.
Oh, this is so good. Using the shrapnel to block them off. And now they're both in lethal range. And Witcher's going to drop a Torian to make it that much more difficult.
FYI, Torian is going to come down to 2 attack very soon.
Oh, interesting. I like.
Yeah.
So you decided to move the attack as opposed to reducing the accuracy reduction?
Yeah, his whole concept is about the bodyguard aspect. It's not about the melee. So.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and that's the fun part when you have such low numbers for health and damage that just one damage reduction can be so swingy.
True. I mean, I don't know if it's fun. It'd be nice to have a little more resolution on that stuff, but
All right.
I tried doubling all the numbers, including health, a long time ago, and it was just too complicated. Oh, look at this.
Look at that. 1 damage. Oh, and he gets
Okay,
the airborne.
what?
That's it.
Okay,
game!
that was beautiful.
You were talking about
oh my
the
gosh.
chuck. I forgot when I was thinking about what could happen this turn. Jailbreak is airborne, leaps over the wall, and goes for the kill. Pope
That was
Darpa.
beautiful.
Currently,
That's beautiful.
3-0 overall against Witcher here. Witcher on our previous winner on his tournament's game here. I was about to say tournament stock. I'm coming from Smash Brothers here, but oh man. Both these players looking for a date against Terrarius in the winners in grand finals. And again, there is bracket resets. They would have to beat, whoever wins this series will have to beat Terrarius 2 times in 2 best-of-3s in order to take the championship. You get 2 lives in the bracket stage of this tournament. Okay. Alright, Witcher with the orbital strike again. Popedarpa is going to have to take that into account when he goes into turn 4. Oh, Popedarpa has Vortex. No Vortex this game so far. Oh. I love that you could see your opponent, judging the range of their shots, because that's a little bit of outplay you could do there. It's like, oh, it's turn 2 and they're measuring something. That looks like it could be a vortex and play around that.
Didn't sleep last night.
Or you can, of course, like fake someone out too.
Absolutely. And we were talking about how doing best-of-3s will allow the mind game, especially when, like, say, a captain's strong. You want to start with something. There's like, oh, this captain's got a decent matchup into both, even if they slightly lose one, so I'm going to blind that game 1. And then most people are like, all right, I know that people are blinding this, so I'm going to have this comp as my opener with this captain to kind of edge towards that matchup. And a lot of mind games that can be played there at the highest levels.
So one of the changes, because we have a lull here, I'll just mention it. One of the changes that we're looking at right now is getting rid of the reinforcement, which is a crazy idea, but basically giving you your whole roster up front.
Oh, wow.
And it's really good. I mean, we're testing it right now, but I'm trying to get as much feedback from a lot of people as possible. I'd love to get your guys' feedback on this.
Yeah, that would be so interesting. That's going to accelerate the game a ton.
You got it. It speeds it up. It almost speeds it up too much, but it really feels like a miniatures game at that point, because you're really you can plan. You can fully plan all your moves, and you can really it starts to really come to life. Because you're not...
Yeah.
Yeah, with miniatures, it's less about responding to everything all the time. There's other ways we'd have to add in some uncertainty, but just because you don't want to get stale, obviously.
Yeah, because if it's like, okay, I guarantee to have this, I don't need to have the best cinder curve.
Yep. But there's other ways to mitigate that, I think.
That is an early switchback from Popedarpa.
I still feel pretty
Popedarpa, you're not going to kill the shrapnel this turn, and the switchback, because you have orbital strike potential. I think you take the 6 damage pot shot if you can onto the captain.
Clear sky.
Look and fly.
Yep, and we see Popedarpa, which is what it is. Like, the win con at this stage until we get objectives, if we do get objective modes. I don't know if you could speak to that, Ira.
That's something I'm actively looking into. I think it makes a lot of sense, so we'll probably do it at some point.
And also with objectives, that gives the variety where it's like, okay, we can optimize for this one objective, but if it's different objectives every game.
Exactly. That's the basic idea. Give the player more certainty on what units they can use, so they have full control over their toolbox, but then put them in uncertain situations in the maps. That's the basic idea.
Yeah, because we can see right now, this is why Popedarpa is having this success, and we talk about this early in the tournament. At least I talk about this where it's like knowing when it's time to turn the heat on and really fish for lethal. By making that switchback do 6 damage against the Zax, Zax is now in that range where if Extilior is able to get just a little bit closer, it is rough. Clutch Nectarvine drop coming in here, though, for Witcher.
What's the hurry?
This is going to hopefully delay the game for him just a little bit. I don't think Extilior gets in close. Extilior doesn't reach. Switchback's going to do 6 damage, so effectively Witcher's playing with 4 damage and 4 health on his captain and house money.
Oh, I'm too attractive a target.
Oh.
My back.
6 health. My apologies. 10 minus 6 is not 2, in case you were wondering, folks. Math's hard, but this crosshair is also... And Witcher is calling it upset twice by Popedarpa. The Extilior Rush deck taking down Witcher 2-0. Once again, well played to both players. Witcher had a heck of a loser's run, taking out strong players. An amazing back and forth series against Yurga, taking out Richard, who we have seen against Eskel and dominate his group. So really good by Witcher this tournament. But now we have our grand finals, Terrarius versus Popedarpa, a rematch of winners finals here. If Terrarius can seal the deal, they go home in first place. If not, then we have if we get a bracket reset, that would also be pretty exciting.
So do we know what the final rosters or the final captain choices are going to be?
Yes, yeah. So they have the same roster the whole tournament. I don't know if you saw it. I think it was Coralard put together data from our last tournament of rosters and captain selection.
I did see it. Yeah.
And all the rosters are open. I have it linked in one of the little panel thingies underneath my description.
Okay.